reviews. You suggest it, I review it, and let's talk about DreamWorks Animation. DreamWorks Animation is one of the most popular animation studios in the world, aside from Disney, Pixar, and Blue Sky Studios and Animations, of course, with films such as Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, and all of that good stuff. But there's one film that they made in particular that got a lot of hate. Not a lot of hate, but some hate when it came out. That is Shark Tales. Shark Tales is a really odd customer. I don't know why people hate it so much. It's not that bad of a film. But I would be lying if I said the film didn't have any problems. What kind of problems? They're minor problems, but problems. How big are these problems? Well, let's take a look. This is Shark Tales. So the film begins with us getting introduced to one of our characters, a shark named Lenny, voiced by Jack Black, and his older brother Frankie. And then we get to see, and then yes, they do a Jaws parody for some reason. I mean, I've seen Jaws, and I don't really think it's the kind of film you want to parody in a kids' film. But what do I know? Anyway, there's a lot of kids' films that parody Silence of the Lambs. I'm not kidding. Look it up. There's a bunch of them. Like, seriously, like, why parody Silence of the Lambs? Did you do a crossover on an Adventure Time or something? Whatever. And then we get to see a fish version of New York City with a bunch of fish gags such as taxis, Hollywood stars literally being starfish, and one fish that tries running a sushi restaurant. That's funny. And we're also introduced to our main character, a fish named Oscar, voiced by Will Smith. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, Oscar is apparently a really rich fish that has a lot of money to do whatever he wants. Except he really doesn't. Oscar's just a normal, everyday, average fish. He works at a whale wash instead of a car wash, and to be fair, that's pretty clever. With his co-worker and best friend Angie, voiced by Renee Zellweger, who, of course, has a crush on Oscar, but she's too nervous to tell him. And of course, Oscar's too much of a blind idiot to notice. But yeah, when you have to make your main character not that bright, you immediately have risks of this film not being that great. Just saying from experience. Apparently Oscar's job is to scrub the mouths of the whales, which is gross. Which leads to one gag that's really a really unfunny gross out gag. Yes, to be fair to me, gross out gags really aren't that funny. They're just, well, gross. Seriously, like, why do so many people think gags like throwing up, farting, and fart jokes are funny? They could be. Fart jokes usually are funny when they don't expect it. Or spit takes. Spit takes can also be pretty funny because you don't expect it. I don't even know where that came from. But anyway, we got to a sunken cruise ship in the middle of nowhere where we're introduced to Don Lino, voiced by Robert De Niro, and Sykes, the owner of the whale wash, voiced by Martin Scorsese. And yes, Sykes is a puffer fish, which means whenever he gets nervous, he puffs up like that one fish from Finding Nemo. In fact, I think Finding Nemo came out before this. Did Finding Nemo come out before this film? I don't know. Yep, 2004. Finding Nemo did come out before this film. Well, anyway, so they're having a meeting, and apparently Lino isn't very happy because apparently, due to all the stuff that's been going on, Sykes owes him $5,000, 5,000 clams. But or else he'll shut the whale wash down. But because Sykes is already in enough hot water, I did not mean that as a joke, he forces Oscar to do it, not only to repay Lino, but to repay all the stupid stuff Oscar's done in the past. To be fair, I will give Sykes some credit. He tries to keep calm about this and gives Oscar 24 hours. And if he doesn't get them in time, he's fired. Literally. So Angie decides to give Oscar a hand by giving Oscar a pearl that's been in her family for years. But what does Oscar do with the pearl? He pawns it. What a great friend. We cut to a scene in a restaurant where Lino tries to get Lenny to act like a real shark by forcing him to eat a shrimp. But Lenny doesn't want to eat the shrimp because he's apparently a nice shark. And yes, Jack Black's performance is pretty funny. And yeah, some of Jack Black's lines, he has like a high-pitched voice throughout the film. Is it hilarious? Yes. Is it funny every time? Not really. But he can't be funny all the time, I guess. I mean, look at me. Anyway, so we cut to a seahorse racetrack. Yes, they do have horse races in this world, but instead of regular horses, it's seahorses, whatever. And after meeting after Oscar meets a fish named Lola, voiced by Angelina Jolie, he pawns off all the clams to one. Oh my god. Really? We're rooting for this guy? Great. But that's okay, because the horse wins, right? No, the horse loses from tripping. Now you're even in more crap, smart one. But luckily Sykes is the audience favor by having Ernie and Bernie tie up Oscar and sending him in the middle of Earth so he can get eaten by sharks. Well, yeah, that happens. But luckily for them, the sharks Oscar meets is Lenny, who lets him go. But Frankie gets upset and starts chasing Oscar, which results in Frankie getting crushed by an anchor. Lenny runs off, thinking that's his fault, and Oscar claims to have killed a shark. And everybody believes his lie, even Angie, who is shown to have great intelligence. And they believe this whole story he's making up. Like, he makes up this whole story about how he defeated a shark, how he beat up this shark, and I'm sorry, it's hard to believe that anybody believes this story. Even Lola, who thought Oscar was nothing but a nobody, starts taking interest in the guy. But not everything's happy, since people do believe it, including the sharks, who seek revenge on him. And Don Lino wants to know who is the Shark Slayer. Don't forget his accounts on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So everything goes great for Oscar. He has a big apartment. He gets everything he wants. Even makes a necklace out of the pearl that Angie gave him to give it to her for a gift, which is nice and everything. But things go bad when their sharks spot at the edge of the reef, since Lino sent up two of his sharkmen to look for Lenny. But Oscar runs into Lenny, and the two become friends. And yes, Lenny does find out that Oscar is the Shark Slayer, but realizes that he didn't mean it, and Lenny decides to keep it a secret as long as they get to be friends. And anyway, we find out, anyway, we cut back to Oscar's apartment where the Jellyfish Brothers, Ernie and Bernie, are playing a video game, and Sykes is talking crap about Lino while the guy's on the phone. Oh lord, this is not going to end well. To be fair, this is a pretty funny scene where Sykes keeps mislearning what Oscar is trying to say. And apparently, this is when Oscar realizes that the shark he killed was Don Lino's son. And yes, he says this as Don Lino's on the line. And yeah, Oscar is in pretty deep doo-doo. And Don Lino was not happy. But then Oscar sneaks back to the whale wash warehouse where Lenny is staying, and Angie finds out about the secret. And Lenny tells Angie this because he likes her, which is funny. Like, this conversation goes like this: man, why did you tell her that? I don't know, I like her. But yeah, Angie's not exactly happy. Which, yeah, the fact that she managed to fool her is pretty sad. While Angie suggests that Oscar tell the truth, Lenny suggests that they stage a little fight, which has Oscar winning, and even the sharks start feeding him. So everything's hunky-dory, right? Nope, Don Leo's still pissed and out for blood. He kidnaps Angie and forces forces Oscar to come to a dinner party, which he does with Sykes and Lenny, who's disguised himself as a dolphin. Why he looks like that, I don't know. I'm just trying to get to the end. But Lenny accidentally blows her cover because, oh yeah, I forgot to mention earlier in the film, Lenny reveals he's a vegetarian, which is why he doesn't like eating fish. And Lenny accidentally blows her cover by being forced to try to eat Angie, which all he does is grab her by the grab her with his mouth and keep her in his mouth. But he spits her out with a bunch of other stuff, like a rubber ball, and a license plate, and a bunch of other stuff. How he managed to swallow that stuff, I have no idea. Anyway, we get a chase scene where Oscar's being chased by Lino, which ends up at the whale wash. And Oscar finally confesses, and things actually turn out pretty well. He makes peace with the sharks, he gets to be the co-owner of the whale wash, and everybody has forgiven him. And Oscar starts dating Angie, because they like confess their feelings or something, I don't really remember. And Oscar gets out of this scot-free. So yeah. Good movie, but it has its problems. I wouldn't say this film's a great movie. I remember reading somewhere this film was supposed to be a lot darker and a lot more adult humor than it's supposed to be. And I'll be honest, I kind of would have preferred this a more darker tone. But I like what the film turned out to be. A lot of people say it's bad. Yeah, well, opinions are opinions. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Phil the Reviewer, and I'll see you next time.